This is the introduction to Chapter 5, the Hollywood Studio System. Here we are. Everybody loves movies, America loves movies, but it was all about making money. So the movie producers and directors were slaves to the box office. So this is what it came down to. It was all about the box office, and the box offices determined whether you did well or you did bad, and if you made money or if you didn't. So since producers and directors were slaves to the box office, you needed to do well there. And how you did well there is you gave the public what they wanted to see. It wasn't necessarily artistic or well done or anything like that. It was just what they wanted to see. So you had to cut out art, you had to cut out everything else. Just basically anything that the American public wanted to see, you showed them. Because it was all about making money, not about art anymore. Since it came down to being all about making money, they had to make a system in order to settle this up, because right now they had one director doing everything, and that was not very efficient, and they couldn't get things done very quickly. So they needed to set up a certain system in order to make movies faster and better. So they came up with the three-part studio system is how they made money better, but the studio system is how they made movies faster, better, more efficiently. It took the workload off of the director. They had grips and gaffers and lighting guys and all this different stuff, and stage hands and everything like that, and that helped take the pressure off of the director so he could focus on camera angles and movement of the people on screen. The book does this the opposite way, but I think I should mention these people first. We have 5 main studios that started using this studio system, and we have 3 little ones. We actually talked about this in class. The 5 big ones are Paramount, Warner Brothers, MGM, RKO, and Fox. And the 3 little ones are Universal, Columbia, and United Artists. And apparently Universal did well and started Columbia Pictures, but I've never heard of United Artists. So those are the 3 little ones, those are 5 big ones. Alright, so these studios started doing something to theaters called blind booking and block booking. After a while of that, the U.S. Constitution deemed this unconstitutional, that the theaters or the production companies had a monopoly on the theater industry as well as the movie industry, and they deemed it unconstitutional, and they couldn't do blind booking and block booking anymore. Also part of the studio system, they started making things called B movies and A films, and B movies were movies that were very factory-based, not a lot of freedom, very genre-based. They just kind of cranked these movies out in a double feature. This would always be the second film. Producers called them filler products. They were known in the industry as filler products, versus A films that the directors had a lot of liberties. They could do basically whatever they want to. The producers still had a lot of say in it, but a lot more freedom, a lot more liberty to do what they thought was best, a lot more creativity and originality went into A films versus B films. Okay, so like I said, it was about making money. So how are we going to get people to come to these factory-made movies now that we've been able to produce them so well? Well, we're going to need stars, people that people recognize. So the statistic by Leo Handel says that 65% of America is attracted to the same gender star. Not necessarily attracted, but you want to see, so a guy wants to see a guy star on stage, and a girl wants to see a girl star on stage, and that's, so you needed stars of both genders in your films, and that would attract people to come see your movie. And lastly, the system of genres, which I'm sure just by the name you guys can figure out, is they started labeling films with genres, so that way people before the movie, they could kind of figure out what they were going in to see. So you'd have an action or a western or a sci-fi or whatever, and then that way people could determine what they wanted to see more, and then they would be drawn. They like sci-fi movies, so they hear the sci-fi is coming out and they instantly want to go see it. They don't know anything about it, they just know the genre, and that also helped incorporate more profit from the movie industry. And that concludes our introduction to Chapter 5, the Hollywood Studio System. Thank you very much.